What's up, everybody? I'm the Mangoose. You are awesome, but today I'm going to take a look at some of the differences in abilities between OverPrime and Paragon. Some changes you may like, some you won't. I'll also go over my honest first impressions of the game. I'm going to go through each hero in alphabetical order with timestamps and a comment below so you can jump to whoever you want. After that, I'll do my critique. I do want to let you know right up front, though, that OverPrime is peer-to-peer only. They have it coded to work with servers but lack the funding to run servers for the game. I wanted to say this first, as I know that's going to be a big old nope for many people, and I don't want to waste anyone's time. I do hope people try it though, as it is a lot of fun and it functions rather well. Now let's get to the ability changes. Bellica remains pretty unchanged from her Paragon days. She still has all of her abilities. They still function in the same way. I'll still show you the abilities real quick. So she still has her drone that sucks mana and hits people whenever they use abilities. And then she's still got her Void Bomb, big AoE attack there. And then she has her Seismic Assault that knocks everybody up. So no real change to Bellica. Her ultimate I can't really show you because, I'm not playing against heroes, but it still does the same thing. The less mana people have, the more damage it deals. No changes to Boris, of course, except that he exists. he never existed in Paragon. Let's take a look at his abilities real quick. So his Q is a quick lunge forward that deals damage and slows, and it does pass through enemies, as you see right there. His E, he injects himself and gets defense, health regen, and a little bit of movement speed. And you can level that up as you go along. His right click is quite interesting. I'm going to show you the Q again real quick, though. There you go. There's the Q. So his right click is really interesting. After this charge up, he gains movement speed and then charges. If he hits an enemy, both him and the enemy are stunned. So he stuns himself. Then his ultimate is pretty much just Steel's ultimate. Some very slight changes to Countess. She still has all of her abilities. Mainly Shadow Slip. I seem to remember Shadow Slip executing a minion whenever you used it. It didn't matter what health that minion was. And it does not do that in this game. Look at this big fat minion wave here. So Dark Tide still big AoE that passes through the enemies in a wave, and then her right click still heals, her little spinny move, and then that you see that executed the minions because it was already at low health. Let's try a different minion here. I'll show you. So let's hit this guy in the back line, boop, and that's another thing. She kind of trips over him a little bit, but yeah, you can see it didn't actually kill that minion. And then her ultimate is, of course, the good old-fashioned scream in their face and stab them in the eyeballs. No big changes to Fing Meow. He's still, you can still Beyblade him if you stack attack speed. I like his movement animation, his sprint animation. Reaping Dash still deals damage if you hit somebody with it. You know, it's just his teleport, which is always nice. Then his shield. Same old thing. Just pops a shield. It seems to not last very long. Hamstring is still a big AoE that slows. And he's still got a Seismic Slam that deals a bunch of damage in a line in front of him. It does still execute enemies below a certain health threshold, and that's dependent upon the level of the ability. Gideon he's a lot like his Monolith, his latest Monolith incarnation. However, his ultimate doesn't slow, and he's always looking over here. He's always looking right. I don't know why. I don't know what's so fucking interesting over there. We're going to enter travel mode here, and he's still looking over there. What do you see, Gideon? What are you looking at, man? Making me nervous, dude. Making me nervous. He, of course, has his Space Rock. That's pretty iconic to Gideon, but he also has the Rift, which passes through enemies, and it's kind of like another rock. Teleport, still the same as always. The team can jump through it. I can't jump through it here myself. I just didn't get there on time, I think. But yeah, the enemy team cannot pass through it. So let's use his ultimate here. And zerp. And see the same old ultimate. Draws people into the middle, slows, and deals a bunch of damage. So pretty good stuff. Let's do another one of those void breaches there. There you see a little better that time. Just travels in a straight line as opposed to coming down out of the sky, really. Greystone, nothing really new with Greystone here. He's got that Jaime Lannister skin going on. But yeah, all of his moves are still the same pretty much. Well, pretty much from Monolith. His E is still the deflect that deflects basic attacks on a cooldown. Assault the Gate still allows you to leap forward and deal damage. And then Make Way is still, you get the spinny wind effect around you that deals AoE around you. And it's going to be a little hard to demonstrate the E. Let's see if we can walk into the tower. And, oh, he just deflected a shot from that minion. So he just raises his shield and he doesn't take damage. So let's walk into this tower. Boop, we didn't take any damage from that tower shot. So that's what his E is. So let's get back under the tower here and activate his ultimate. So boom, we blocked that first tower shot. Now we're taking heavy damage from the tower. And we're going to die right here. Come on, die for me, Greystone. Oh, he deflected one there at the very end. So you just come back with, you know, a portion of your health and your mana. That will be dependent upon the level of the ability. Grim.exe, one change to Displacement Blast. Some of you will like it, some of you will not. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this change. So the change to Grim EXE is Displacement Blast. It no longer displaces minions. So I don't know what you guys think about that, but yeah, that's there used to be a tactic to, you know, toss the minions out of your tower range, or there's all kinds of stuff you can do with Displacement Blast. I don't like this change, but you guys let me know if you like it or not. Then his E is just his Suppressive Fire, which you can see the mana ticking down there as I'm attacking, and that does still apply a slow. It doesn't change the reticle really at all, which I think it should, because that always let you know when you were using your Displacement Blast. And then his he's still got his, you know, shield around him that blocks an ability. And his ultimate I can't really show you guys, but it's still the same old get the fuck out ultimate that he had. Got a Howitzer here. There's been a few changes to our boy Howitzer, some to his basic attack and one to his slow grenades. So let's take a look. Now the change to his basic is that it no longer splashes. That was kind of iconic to Howitzer. He had the only ranged attack that dealt splash damage. You can see that it's not splashing. R2000 rocket still works the same way that it always did, still quite deadly. Now instead of the slow grenades, he just has a slow bomb. And then his mine still kind of pops you up if you reactivate it, and it'll of course work on enemy heroes. But yeah, I don't like this change. I don't know if maybe that's something they plan to do in the future, is add this splash damage to his basic attack, but having a splashing basic attack was Howitzer. That was like his thing. And kind of sad to not see it in here. Let's do another demonstration of the mine. And there's Make It Rain. Make It Rain, of course. Same old Make It Rain. You can still escape with it and deal a whole bunch of damage. Pop people back in there with your mine. Let's throw another mine down and boop. As you can see, we can knock ourselves away and the enemy with the mine. Kalari, no major changes to Kalari. She's still stealth. She still jumps around. She still throws crippling daggers. Let's take a look. So she can still stealth. However, you don't get increased attack damage when you come out of stealth. You just get the same attack damage. I don't know why there's variance in the attack numbers, but yeah, no increased damage coming out of stealth. There's the crippling dagger, of course, slows. It's got pretty good range on it. And then her double jump. Got her little leapy leap. Then her ultimate, I can't really show you because I'm not playing against people, but it is the Monolith ultimate. It is not the original OG Legacy ultimate. Chimera, one big change, which you already know about this change if you watched my other videos, is to ambush. And I really want to know what you guys think of this. I am not a fan. I think ambush made him an all-in hero, and that was part of his identity. And if you're going to make these Paragon games, then you need to kind of keep the identity a little bit, I think. But his Q, you know, just increased attack speed and you attack. So there's the ambush, AoE, jump in, and it still slows people. And it gives him an escape. So I don't know, maybe it adds more depth to Chimera. I don't know. And then his E is just his stacks. He regens health. And then his ultimate is also changed. His ultimate is, let's do another ambush here. His ultimate is also no longer lock on. It just hits everything in an area around you. Get these these guys low. Bam, there's the ultimate, and as you see, there was a big AoE indicator, so it doesn't just lock onto one target. We have a few changes to Kwang. Let's go into travel mode here and enter the jungle. His Judgment of Heavens, where he throws his sword, it no longer roots people, it stuns people. And then his right click, which is where he channels and deals damage, it gives him a shield now, as you saw right there, instead of just giving him ability armor. And I don't know if it ever gave him basic armor or whatever. It just gives him a shield now. So he's got a stun instead of the root, and then he has a shield instead of increased armor. And then his passive is, of course, just gives him health regen on hits. So you can still recall your sword back to you. You can throw your sword out, channel the right click energy blast, and then recall your sword back to you. So we're going to throw our sword out here and then see if we can use our ultimate to get back into lane. Okay, the sword is down. Let's go ahead and recall and leave our sword out there, because this is extremely iconic to Kwang, being able to teleport back to your sword. I don't need any cards. So let's hit our R. And boom, there we are back in lane. So his ultimate still worked the same way it always did. Murdoch makes his appearance in Monolith form, late Monolith form, which is what I thought was probably the worst form of Murdoch. He was very basic bitch. I called him Soldier 76 in my Honest Hero review of Murdoch. And I was just very pissed off that they had changed him so much. Just so many passive abilities. And he has a lot of passives here. He has the Hot Pursuit, where he gains movement speed when moving towards low health enemies. And then he's got his Shots Fired, which gives him extra range. And then his Buckshot still works. His Buckshot still knocks people back, does AoE damage. It doesn't seem to work on towers. I remember it used to work on towers. You could lower the armor on towers and deal a little bit more damage. That no longer works. But we're going to line up his ultimate here and see if we could deal long range damage to a tower. One thing I did notice with the ultimate is there's a little bit of a delay when you fire it, which I like. That's the way the original ultimate worked, and yeah, we were able to do long range damage to the tower there. Some huge changes to Muriel. She has the same thing with Gideon. I guess anybody that flies is always going to look at the middle of the map. I don't know what's going on with that. But the biggest changes with Muriel is Serenity and Alacrity are lock-ons. They either lock onto a hero or lock onto an enemy. I don't know how I feel about that. Consecration is still AoE shield bubble thingy. And then her ultimate, I can't really show you, but it's the same ultimate. It's Reversal of Fortune. It's the standard Muriel ultimate. No big changes to Narbash. I do love that his sprint animation is back. Look at that fat bastard go. I love that shit. So Thunk, you still throw your drumstick and stun somebody. And then your March, you just give it a movement speed. And then you can also, of course, still heal people with his E. Let's see if we can, if there's an indicator of giving these guys movement speed. I'll need to wait for it to come off cooldown. I don't see any indicator. But yeah, it's pretty standard Narbash stuff here. Get into this minion wave and use our ultimate, the old crash bang boom. Kind of a weird targeting for this, or indicator for this. But yeah, it still does a bunch of damage, knocks people up, and slows. So Rampage is kind of a combination of Monolith and Legacy. He has his leap, but he also has his rumble. Come up here. Here's the rumble. You don't move when you do it. You just stand in one place and ground pound applies a slow. Does a pretty significant amount of damage. Going to leap into these enemies. I haven't found a way to activate it early. You know how you can do a stutter leap on Rampage. Haven't found a way to do that yet. And then his rock is damn near impossible to hit on minions. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if that's just collision with the ground, but oh my god, trying to hit enemies with the boulder was it was a task. Big question I had for Rampage was, can you still hold people hostage with the rock? It looks like you can. You can just carry this fucker around, which was always fun on Rampage, to just threaten people with this rock. Not even throw it, just carry it around for a while. And let's see if we can carry it after we jump. No, he dropped the rock whenever he jumped. But yeah, that was always fun to do. Let's take a look at his ultimate. His ultimate is still the same. Let's walk up here and activate his ultimate. And we get big, get a bunch of regen. The rock isn't instant cast like it used to be with the ultimate, but your leap does have a bigger range. And then it doesn't look like much change to ground pound either. Not much has changed with Cereth. I do like what they did with her movement animation by spreading her wings out when she sprints. That's kind of cool. She can still deal damage in a line and slow with her right click. And then she can send out her little images to attack enemies. Pretty standard. Jump up in the air, crash back down. Pretty standard Cereth stuff here. Let's activate her ultimate here in a minute. Woo! We're all fiery and flamey. And it doesn't look like the abilities are setting them on fire. Let's see if basic attacks do. Let's hit this guy. And yep, he's on fire. So it looks like you need to hit him with a basic attack to set him on fire. Big boy Severog here. Not many changes to him. You can still stack up, and you still get the stacks from Soul Siphon. You no longer get them from all of his abilities. It's just Soul Siphon that gives you the stacks. And his Colossal Blow, his ultimate, does not execute minions. That was a feature in original Legacy Paragon. I don't know how long that carried over into Monolith. So he still has his Wraith Walk. We'll do that right here. There we go. Then Subjugate. Land that on these minions. Let's get them low, and then we'll hit them with a Soul Siphon and see. And you can see the stat counter to the left of the Q button there. A little too much screen shake. And go! We got them, and you can see that we got 2 stacks there with our Q. So let's go find some minions to blow. So let's hit these minions here, and it doesn't knock them back. That seems to be a trend here. The displacement abilities don't work on minions, just heroes. Then we have Sparrow. Sparrow's another one that they changed quite a few things on. Let's enter travel mode here. Nice flowy cape animations. Good choice on the skins for Sparrow. I always like the rogue Sparrow skin. So let's attack the blue buff here. And I'll show you some of the changes. Her Q is still the same. The Rain of Arrows is still an AoE. Drops a bunch of arrows in every archer and every MOBA ability. Her piercing shot, still the same thing. Pierces terrain, pierces enemies. And then the changes though are to her E. Like, instead of being passive and stacking attack speed, you just activate it to get attack speed for a set amount of time. So you see how those those attacks were. Let's activate it. You can see that I'm hitting a lot faster. Her ultimate has changed too. Instead of the triangle of arrows going out, you just deal more damage. It's just a damage buff for a set amount of time. So of course you want to stack that with your E, but I missed the old ultimate. My lovely Faye, not many changes to her. She functions a lot like she did back in Paragon. One thing missing from the Faye is that her basic attacks no longer leave a little flower sticking out of the wall, so I can't try to make smiley faces while I'm waiting for minions to spawn. Aww. So Untamed Growth is still AoE that, you know, spins and deals damage while it spins and then ends up dealing a huge burst of damage at the end of the cast. And then Bramble Patch still leaves a line of brambles that slow if anybody hits them or if they hit anybody. Harvest Nettles still point and click, hit somebody with your Harvest Nettles, and it does still refund mana when you hit heroes, or so I am told. And then Fly Trap, the same old thing, pulls everybody into the middle and deals damage. Last but not least, we have Twin Blast. There are some changes to his ultimate. His grenades still slow, and they do have charges, so you can toss out multiple ones. And then his right click is the good old-fashioned triple tap, which I very much enjoy. And then his dash is the same as it always was. You just dash. An enemy tower is under attack. There's the triple tap. There you go. Better animation of it. Let's come up here and dash. Boop. Same old Twin Blast dash. Then his ultimate is this, like, it's not Ventilate, but it's not the Rocket Barrage either. It's kind of like a combination of Ventilate and Rocket Barrage. And oh my god, the screen shake, like, that is insane. But yeah, it just does a whole bunch of damage Really fast, kind of it. Now, my honest opinions about OverPrime. I think they're off to a good start, but I see a lot of bugs that I think would have been identified with more testing. Let's start with the good. The game is very smooth and responsive. The sound effects, camera shake, and red screen flash combine to create a visceral experience akin to what we had in Paragon. Some of that stuff needs toned down, but overall I think they did a great job. They put a lot of attention into recreating the Legacy map. It was almost surreal to run around instinctively knowing where to go because it was exactly like Legacy. The targeting system for abilities is spot on. It's easy to see where your abilities are going to go. The additions they made are good, like adding gold buffs to each lane. I was also a huge fan of the Prime Dunk mechanic, and they brought that back, which made me a happy boy. While I'm not sure how I feel about travel mode, I'm still happy to see the old travel animations back in the game. OverPrime is a uniquely nostalgic experience that I think any Legacy fan will enjoy, and also provides a way for the people that joined during Monolith to experience the joy of Legacy. I very much appreciate all the hard work they put into this game. It's not all sunshine and roses though. I've really been looking forward to this one. Rocketmania has plenty of experience with working on Overthrow, and he also made the statement, and I'm paraphrasing here, that none of the Parazombies were capturing what Paragon was, so he was going to take the project on and make a true successor. With bold statements like that and plenty of experience behind them, I had unrealistically high expectations, and those expectations were not met. The gameplay is designed to be fast, but it's way overtuned. You get experience at a rate that makes you think you're on a modded Ark server. Travel mode is fun for getting back to lane, but it also promotes deathballing, which was a huge problem in Legacy Paragon. Small things like the Fae not being able to climb stairs, a multitude of glitches in the map, and this Countess bug where when you shadow slip to a siege minion, you carry them up in the air like you're about to Zangief pile drive their ass. I can't help but think they knew problems like that existed and proceeded with the game anyway. A good example of what I'm getting at is the Muriel and Gideon always facing the center of the map bug. In no way is that game breaking, just annoying and indicative of sloppy design and not enough testing. There are a lot of small things like that present here. I think OverPrime is off to a great start, but they're going to need funding in order to stand up servers or no one is going to play. In order to get that funding, they're going to need to take some time and fix all the bugs, camera shake, and gameplay issues. I hope they can get the game to a state where it would be feasible to request donations to the project because they have a good base to grow on. Hope you guys enjoyed the overall video. I think my next one is going to be creating my development dream team, like who I would pick from each company if I were to merge them into one. That's all I've got for now. I hope you enjoy OverPrime, but for now, this is the Mangoose signing off. You guys have a good one. Mangoose!